Hey everybody, it's Emily at ARG Schooling, and it's time for a new reading vlog. A couple months ago, I did a vlog where I read some of my most anticipated releases. It was a great time, and I've been wanting to do that again. So I've chosen 3 books that were like high on my list of like priority reads. And because this month was the month I was supposed to read, excuse my dog behind me, and this is the month I'm supposed to read books that I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered all of these. So let's talk about what I'm planning to read this week. It's already Wednesday, but that's fine. First up is Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. Kicking it off with some nonfiction. I love John Green's work. I prefer his nonfiction to his fiction, although I do want to go back. I didn't love The Fault in Our Stars, and really, if I'm being honest, it's the only fiction of his that I've read, but I didn't get it the way other people did, and I've kind of written off the rest of it. I do want to read some of his fiction. Let me know in the comments what your favorite John Green fiction is. I think I have Looking for Alaska. I think I have that on my shelves, and I might read that for the top 10 banned books prompt for the reading challenge. But this is the one I was really excited for. I just love his hyper focus, like kind of consuming his work, and the way he ties it into everything. I've already started this. I started it yesterday. I'm only like a few chapters in, but like I love this. This is how my brain works. Like I too will hyper focus on a thing until it consumes everything, and I can start like tying it in to everything. And so like I think it's really interesting. And the way we'll talk more about it when I like get more into the book, but like what I love about this is how he is showing how everything can relate back to tuberculosis. Like we can point it out in so many different things, but also like how so much of our world is structured like that. The other 2 books I have here are both fiction and are both favorite authors. I have Neal Shusterman's newest, All Better Now, that I have been both excited and anxious to read. I don't know, I still say I think he peaked with Arc of the Scythe. I think after that, where else do you go? Like, where do you go from there? that is like his best work. And so I've been very nervous because I have not loved anything else that he's come out with, honestly. Like, some of it was fine, some of it I just hated and DNF'd. And so I really want this to be the next Arc of the Scythe. Like, I want it to be that good, which I think is possibly putting too much pressure on this book, but here we are. This is like a pandemic story, but the illness that you get in this book, if you survive it, gives you perfect contentment. And how everything kind of becomes better. Like, you see the world differently. And there are people who don't want anyone to have perfect contentment, because if you have perfect contentment, then how do they sell you things? How do they convince you to buy things? Like, capitalism can't survive that. So they are trying to come up with a vaccine that will like cure this illness and help you to not become perfectly content. And so we're following like different factions of teens. Like, these teens are all coming from different backgrounds and how this has affected them. I am so curious about it, but I'm so nervous. I'm nervous. What if I hate it? I don't want to hate it. I want this to be amazing. And then the last book I'm hoping to get to is When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. To be honest, this is the book I am the most excited to read. I have loved everything Nat Cassidy has written. Like, he is my new favorite author. I think his work is just so interesting. He does things with his writing that I find fascinating. Like, I don't know where this book is gonna go, but Nestlings and is it The Rest Stop, I think is the name of it, were both Jewish horror, which I've never seen before, and I was like, this is amazing. I want more of it. I want more Jewish horror, please. But I just think his writing is so good, and it's so my kind of horror, where it's, I don't know, trauma based, but also just like so, I don't even know what words to use to describe it. Like, it's trauma and it's dark and it's gritty, but it's also emotional and moving. So I don't know what this is gonna do yet. I don't want to know too much about it. I have not read the synopsis. I know there's something to do with a werewolf, and I think I've heard him mention father-son relationships in like talking about his book. I don't know more than that, and I really don't want to. I want to go into this as completely blind as I can, so I can get like the full effect of the story, you know? So these are my plans. I'm also writing curriculum. I am working on my Tea with Emily discussion for Friday. I am trying to film other videos. I am doing too many things. And I'm like this close to burnout. And I am doing my best to prevent that from happening. So that's why I wanted to film this, because I need something fun, and I don't want to say silly. This isn't silly, but I want something that will distract me a little bit, because I feel like I'm losing my mind right now, and I don't want to devolve that way. So I'm gonna film this, and we're gonna read together, and we're gonna spend some time lost in good books. I made tea that I abandoned to come outside and film this because my house is too dark right now, and I don't know, now it's noisy and there's bugs. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go drink my tea, and maybe I'll read. So I'm like halfway through, I think, or maybe just past halfway through Everything is Tuberculosis, and I'm really liking it so far. I mean, I knew it was gonna be a favorite. Like, it's John Green, of course I'm gonna like it. But it's really, really like fascinating, and I just really love how he's tying it all together. However, I want to say, I was listening to the audiobook last night while I was cross-stitching, and I'm sitting on the couch, and it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock. The kids were coming down to get a snack, and I guess I was making a face. I was reading, and I was just like, because John Green has put the worst thought ever in my head, and now I have to give you this worst thought ever, because I will never not be thinking about it now. But he was talking about how the gut microbiome, like, is in communication with the rest of your body and like your brain and stuff, and so it speaks to your brain and it can put thoughts there. And so some of the thoughts you have may not be yours, but the bacteria in your gut microbiome. And I just, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? That is a horrifying thought. Now I'm just like, what thoughts are mine and which thoughts are the bacteria in my body, which is not a thought I need to be having in 2025, honestly, but here we are. Anyway, I just wanted to pop in and say that the book is really good so far, because I am terrible at vlogging right now. I am not in the best mental space. Or is anyone? I don't know. I'm desperately trying to distract myself in any way possible. And it's so hard right now. It's so hard because, but I'm doing what I can to not completely lose it and spiral. But, you know, now I also have to worry about bacterial thoughts. Today is Friday. I have a live stream in an hour, and I wanted to try to film some other things today too, but I did finish Everything is Tuberculosis, and I loved this. I loved it a lot. I just want John Green to teach me everything. Something about his voice, I don't know, I can't explain it, but he soothes me in a way that I needed, because the stress has been a lot. And this book, despite the sad topic, was very relaxing to listen to, but also frustrating and sad and all the things. I don't know what that says about me, that I found it relaxing. I think it's just his voice, but definitely recommend the audio for this. because John Green reads it, and he's excellent. Like, I don't know. He's very good at explaining things and like breaking things down in a way that anyone could understand. And one of the things I love about history is the interconnectedness of everything, and like being able to put those pieces together in this big puzzle. And I thought he did such a good job of that in this. It's such a short book, but it does so much. And I really appreciate that he gave us. I want him to write all the things. I want him to write about more things, because the way he explains tuberculosis and like like everything is tuberculosis, and connecting it to like all these different systems and things, and it's like, wow, it all really is about racism. Like, everything is about racism. Everything is about white supremacy. Everything is about classism, and he does that in here in a way that like you wouldn't expect by picking it up and seeing the title, and like I don't know, he did such a good job. I have been a fan of the Green Brothers for years, like a decade. I don't know when I first found them. Like, we used Crash Course in our homeschool. I use Crash Course videos in Build Your Library. I just think what they do, even just in the education sector, is so important and so great. But they do so much. They do so much. Like, we are blessed to have them. Like, I'm glad I live in the same time as the Green Brothers, is what I'm saying. Like, we don't deserve them, but I'm glad we have them. Now I need to decide what I'm reading next, because I don't know what mood I'm in. Do I want horror, or do I want like a YA, possible like addicting book? Like, I don't know. I can't decide. I keep looking at them and going, who's next? Can I read both at the same time? No, that would be, I've done that before, but I don't really want to do that right now. I want to devote my time to a book. I don't know. Maybe I'll have the dogs decide. I don't think they'd cooperate. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to think about it, because like I can't start another book until later in the day anyway, but I don't know which I'm going to read next. So that's what I'm going to be thinking about the rest of the morning, but I need to pull myself together. I get so stressed out and in my head about live streams. I hate doing them, because like when I'm filming and I get on a like weird tangent or I start babbling, I can edit it out. You guys never have to see that. But when I'm live, sometimes I don't know what's coming out of my mouth. Like I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know how weird I'm gonna get. And so like, I do script myself to an extent, but like you can only do so much with a script, because people ask questions and then you just start, or when I run out of things to say and I'm just like, panicked, say something. And then whatever nonsense comes out of my mouth, I don't know. It's a wonder people follow me still, because I feel so awkward. But anyway, I've gotta go do the Tea with Emily live. I'm going to try to film my mid-year book freak out tag thing that I do every year. I was trying to plan that out this morning and figure that out. So I might film that today if I have it in me after a live stream. I always want to like make the best use out of putting on makeup. Like, if I'm gonna look nice, I need to film things, because otherwise I'll have to do this again tomorrow, and I don't like wearing makeup every single day. Like, how did I used to do that? It's weird to think about. Like, I used to do a whole face and hair and clothing every day. Why? I don't know. But anyway, I'm babbling. See, this is what I'm talking about. I have to go. Okay. I'm going to see if my dog will choose my next book. Spike, do you want to tell me what to read? Which book should I read next? Hey, no, come back. Come back. Which one? Come here. Which book? Which one? Come here. Which one? Which one do you like better? Which one do you like better? He is fully uninterested. Help me decide! So, I started All Better Now. And I'm like just past 100 pages, like 120 pages or so. I made it through the first section of the book. No, the first 2 sections of the book. I'm on part 3 now. I made it to part 3 and I'm liking it so far. I was so nervous, but I'm intrigued. I don't know where this is going to go. I may not like it by the end, but right now I'm kind of invested. So we're following a few different characters, but this doesn't do like perspective jumps like Dry. This does like all the different characters at once, kind of. So we're following through different characters, and they're all from very different worlds in this near future. Like, this is near future because they talked about COVID. So this is after COVID, but like we don't know when. And this illness is more contagious, so it's seen as more dangerous, and but a lot of people are purposefully trying to catch it because the fact that after your illness, if you survive the illness, when you recover, you have this like euphoria and everything feels different and you're happy. And everyone wants that, obviously. Like, who wouldn't want that? So, like, I want that. But you have to survive it. And not everyone does. And so, I'm so interested to see where this... Like, I have thoughts about where this could potentially go. I feel like there's a lot here to work with. So, yeah, I'm curious. But I like it so far. So we're off to a good start. I was so worried that I would like DNF this 100 pages in, but I don't see this being a DNF. I think I'm going to stick it out. So that is my weekend plans, because I really don't think I'm going to like finish that by the weekend. But that's okay, because I'm going to carry this vlog into next week so that I can also hit When the Wolf Comes Home, because still really want to read that. So anyway, I just wanted to pop in quick and let you know what book I finally decided on, because it was a tough choice. I really want to read both of them immediately. So I figured I've had All Better Now way longer. I had the ARC. I got the ARC. Like, I won a copy of the ARC and I didn't read it. I got 2 in my head about it and I never got to it. So why am I like that? I don't know. But now I've started it. I'm reading it. And I'll let you know my thoughts and when I've read some more. I'm going to try to pop in at the midway point, because I'm like almost a third. Not quite a third. I think I'm like 20-something% in. So I'm listening to the audio. Although I got to say, I'm not loving the audio. It's fine. But I'm going to still listen to it because it's the only way I'm going to get through this book. It's 500 pages long. So I'll stick it out, but it's, it's fine. It's not like the worst audiobook I've ever heard, but it is definitely not in my top 30, but I just wanted to let you guys know that so far, I'm not hating it. Made it halfway. Actually, I'm just past halfway. I think I'm at like 58%, so you can see my progress. I'm still really liking it. It's not holding my attention as well as I want. However, that could just be me, because I am a mess right now. So I don't know if it's just my inability to focus, but it's not like gripping me the way, say, Scythe did. But it's bringing up some interesting things to think about. Like, for example, if this virus doesn't kill you, you have this amazing contentment that changes your entire personality, that makes you a better person, more in tune with humanity. You no longer feel like stress, anxiety, anger, all these, like, hate, all these things that like weigh us down as humans, gone. And so, like, some people view that as being lobotomized. Like, okay, well, if this happens to me, I won't be me anymore. And some people think it's the most amazing gift they can give someone. And so is it okay to purposely spread this virus if it can make people better? But there's still this chance that you die. But if you succumb to this illness, you have this moment of like awakening right before you die, where you realize that, you know, the world is better than what you thought it was. Like, you have peace in this moment. So like the ideas of like, should we spread something like, is it ethical to do something like that, is really interesting. And like seeing how the different characters perceive it, and like wondering like, what would I do in this situation? Because like right now in this very moment, I would love to have something fix me like that. But what if I died? You know, like, I don't know. It's an interesting quandary to ponder. But so like, it's really interesting. I just wish, I was really hoping that this was gonna be a book that I would just like fall into and like distract me. And I don't know, maybe at this moment in time I'm just not distractible. Maybe, well, that's not, maybe I'm not able to be distracted in the way I want to be, as opposed to like everything around me distracting me. I don't know. But like, it's an interesting story, and the characters are, some of them I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm getting rambly again, but like, I'd say right now at the just past halfway point, it's like a 3.5, maybe getting close to a 4, but not quite a 4. But stuff could happen at the end. I'm wondering too if this is a standalone. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember hearing that this is a series. And that makes me, I don't know, slightly concerned, because sometimes I feel like he has a tendency to end books in a way that is unsatisfying. For example, Dry. I don't know if you guys have all read his book Dry, but that book was great up until the end, because it just ends in a way that is very unsatisfying. Because I think he was trying to make it too neat, too tidy, too easy, and I didn't love that. And I know that that is a point of contention about that book. I think it's a good story and I still think it's worth reading, but didn't love the end. And like, I understand he did that because it's a standalone. You need to end it in a way that feels like an ending, but I'm wondering how this is gonna end and if I'm gonna be annoyed. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna try to finish it. Probably not today. It's Sunday. I'm probably gonna finish it tomorrow or the next day. We'll see what I think. I'm curious where I'll fall with this book. So I finally finished All Better Now, and I'm still kind of processing. Like, I want to say my rating is like a 3.75. Like, it never quite hit 4. And I've been trying to figure out what it is, why this didn't work for me. Like, it did, I don't want to say it didn't work for me. I was interested. I found the plot compelling. I liked the ideas he was putting out in this story, like the idea of the virus and all of that was really interesting. The philosophical questions that came with that were really neat to think about, and I liked that. I think one of the issues I had with this was that there is a lot of characters in this book, and none of them were characters that I feel like were developed enough for me to care about. They should have been, because like we spend a lot of time with some of them, and I just feel like they were not like full characters. They were like caricatures of people, I guess. I don't know. But they just, nobody in the story is memorable enough for me to like care, which is hard because I do like a good plot, but I also like having really great characters because that's what will keep me in the story. It's like wondering what's going to happen to them and being concerned about them and that sort of thing. And like, that is what I think is missing here. And that's frustrating because I know he can write good characters. Like, the Ark of the Scythe is full of really great dynamic characters that they just weren't in this book. And apparently it's going to be a duology. There is a second book coming out at some point, and I will probably read it out of sheer curiosity about where this is going to go. Because I do think, like I said, the plot was interesting, and I think there is still potential here, but I just feel like it wasn't what I wanted, which is frustrating. Like, I know he can do it. Like, he did it. He wrote Ark of the Scythe, which I think is just amazing. So he has the capability. So I don't know. None of his newest books have really done it for me, though. So that's what that is. Would I recommend it? Yes. I think, like I said, the ideas he's putting in the story about the virus and, like, how the story ends is interesting, and I am curious about what will happen next. So, anyway, now I get to read the book that I've been the most excited about. When the Wolf Comes Home. I've been like kind of saving this for last because I know this is going to be a new favorite. I feel it. I feel like this is going to be my new favorite obsession of the year, and I'm going to like recommend it to everybody. I just know. So I'm going to start When the Wolf Comes Home, and I don't know. I'm very excited about it. I feel like this is going to be the thing that like pulls me in and distracts me from the things. And I really wanted it to be this, but it wasn't. So I'm putting all the pressure on Nat Cassidy right now. Okay. I read the first 50 pages of When the Wolf Comes Home, and I really like this so far. Like, I don't know if it's going to be what I need it to be. Like, I think I'm just in a really weird headspace right now. But I feel like it has potential. So, we're only 50 pages in, and, like, it's happening. Like, everything's happening all at once. And, like, the story kicks off really fast, and things start, like, almost from the first like chapter, we have things happening. So like, I don't know how to talk about it yet because I don't, like, I didn't read the synopsis. I don't actually know what the story is about besides fathers. But I can tell you that the main character, Jess, is grieving the death of the father she's never really known. Like, he's basically a sperm donor. He abandoned her when she was just 6. And so she's never really known him. And what she knows of him is not good. But for some reason, his death is really hitting her. So she's thinking about that a lot and like dealing with the grief of that. We've also got a character who's a little boy, and he's terrified of his father, and his father's after him. And I think that's where the wolf thing is coming into play. And that's like all I'm going to tell you. So, because like everything I could say so far is probably considered a spoiler. So I don't want to like give away like stuff about the plot, but like it's very action heavy. So if you really like a like action heavy plot, I think you would like this based on the first 50 pages. Like, I feel like Nat Cassidy does a really good job of like both action and tension and that kind of stuff, with like emotional things happening. And so like, I'm wondering where this is gonna go. I have no idea. Like, I'm not in a good headspace to predict things. It's a story. I'm interested. I feel like even the short chapters are helping like keep me going, because like all the chapters are really short, which is great. That's what I need right now. my attention span is minimal. Like I'm not doing great, but you know, I'm still invested in finding out what the heck is going to happen in this book. It's very gory. Like there's a lot of blood. There's a gross bathroom sequence, and like there's just he writes gross things. So be aware of that too going in. Like it's icky, but it's icky in a fun way. So anyway, that's about all I got in me tonight to read. I am so tired. I didn't sleep well. Again. Perimenopause, man. It's destroying me. But I'm so tired. I don't think I can do any more reading tonight. I did work on my cross stitch a little bit more. It's going to take me forever. Also, they didn't give me enough of the embroidery floss, and I'm kind of mad about it. I've run out of a few well before I'm going to be done with them. Like, why would you not give me enough for the whole, like, this is only half of it. Like, I still have, you can't see it because I can't hold it. I still have another half to do. So, like, I'm going to have to spend a bunch of money buying more floss because why? So I'm going to have to spend money on floss that I shouldn't have had to purchase because it should have come with enough in the kit. Whatever. It's fine. I'm just going to worry about that later and just work on what I have. But anyway, I wanted to pop in quick because I've not been doing it. I have like no B-roll in this vlog. I keep saying I'm going to get some B-roll. Like I went for a walk yesterday. Did not take any footage. I've made tea every day. Did I film that? No. I was out today for lunch. Did I film? No. I'm not doing great with this vlog, but it's fine. You're here for the book reviews, so that's what I have for you. More terrible lighting, but I made it to the halfway point and When the Wolf Comes Home. And I'm so glad that I didn't read the synopsis. I had no idea what I was getting into, and I'm still just like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm enjoying the ride. So if I were to compare this to anything, this is reminding me of Buffy season 1, the episode, what is it called? Nightmares, I think, is the name of the episode. You know, where the little boy is in a coma and all of his fears are being projected on everyone in Sunnydale. That's what this is doing. Now I'm wondering if Nat Cassidy is a Buffy fan, because it's that, basically, except he's awake. So it also kind of reminds me of Firestarter a little bit too, because there's an element of that in it where, like, and I don't really want to give too much away, because I feel like the less you know, the more fun this is. But yeah, it's that episode of Buffy. So if you're a Buffy fan and you know what I'm talking about, it's got those vibes. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to discuss this book without like giving anything away. It's a really fun story. It's not what I was expecting, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I love the whole idea of like the projecting his fears into reality and like the havoc that is wreaking on everybody and everyone's reactions to what's happening. But yeah, a lot of action. I'm really enjoying the character interactions. It's got the whole like adult trying to care for a child that isn't hers, and she's never really dealt with kids and doesn't really know what she's doing, but she's stuck with this kid now, and they're gonna just figure it out as they go, and that's really fun. But yeah, really, really liking this. This is exactly what I wanted right now. So I'm probably gonna finish tomorrow. I'm like, I just hit the halfway point, and I feel like everything after this is just gonna like be very fast. Like the whole thing has been fast paced, honestly. The pacing in this is pretty chaotic. There's just always something happening. They're on the run, and like I'm very intrigued where this is headed. So I'm excited to finish it, and I will let you guys know my final thoughts. But right now, I feel like this is going to be a 5. I finished, and this might be a favorite of the whole year. Like, this might be my new favorite Nat Cassidy going forward. Like, I cannot imagine how we could top this. This was excellent. I don't even know how to talk about it. I can tell you that I loved it, that I gave it 5 stars, that I think this is maybe one of my favorite books of all time. I've been sitting here trying to think about what I want to say and how I want to talk about it without giving anything major away. And I'm going to start by saying this gives me the same feelings and vibes as Stephen King's It. So if you loved It and you love the feelings you get reading that story, you're going to love this. I don't know what else to say because I'm afraid of spoiling, and I really don't want to give too much away because I feel like because I didn't know what I was getting into, it made the ride I was on reading this so much more fun and enjoyable and like emotional, all of those things. Like I thought this was so good. And I have to let's just talk about Nat Cassidy for a minute because these 3 books are absolutely phenomenal. And I like how he points out in his afterword in this that he thinks of these as kind of like a trilogy, even though all of them are very different, but they're like a trilogy of trauma. Mary is a story about the trauma of aging, and especially as a woman going through perimenopause and going through that experience and the trauma of it. Nestlings is a story about the trauma of becoming a parent. This is the trauma of new parenthood. This is the trauma of childhood. So like, he's covered so much territory already. Like, I don't know. It's excellent. This was so freaking good and emotional, and I cried. I already want to reread it, and I just finished it, but it was so good. So I'm glad I ended there because that was like exactly what I needed in the moment. So I read 3 books this week and ish. I guess it's Wednesday to Friday. Yeah, today's Friday. So Wednesday to Friday. I started with Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green and absolutely loved it. Read Neal Shusterman's newest and it was fine. Like, I don't know if he's ever gonna give me what I want after Arga the Scythe. New favorite of the year. New favorite going forward. Like, Nat Cassidy was already a favorite author for me. Now he has moved up to like God tier status in my head because everything I've read has been a 5-star. Like, the man is working some magic here. Like, he's writing exactly what I need him to write when I need it the most. I don't know how to explain that, but like, I cannot wait for whatever he comes out with next. I'm sure it'll be another 5-star read. So thank you for coming along on this ride with me. I know that I wanted to do more things this week, but it's just, you know, this was a good distraction. It's what I needed. I needed something to give me other things to think about. And this is the best I could come up with in the moment. So thanks for coming along on the ride with me. I hope you will pick something up that I read this week. If I could recommend anything, it's gonna be these 2, although anything by Nat. If you've never read Nat Cassidy and you like horror, read anything by, like, all of them are excellent. This is probably my favorite though. And of course, I always recommend John Green because his writing is so interesting and you'll learn something. Always good to learn a new thing. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.